Welcome to Socially Unfiltered,
That's the sleaziest tactic I have ever heard.
I cannot believe they would say that to you.
an open discussion all about social media, entrepreneurship, pop culture, and everything in between.
We're just some DIY girlies.
It costs $0 to support your friends.
You'll go on deep dives and doom scrolls with your hosts, Lex and V, to uncover the stories behind the headlines and look at everything through an unfiltered lens.
I want to relive the 2000s.
Not the trauma dumping on a Monday.
So grab a drink and get ready for a lot of yapping. Don't worry, there's no quiz at the end.
Strategy is such a buzzword.
English isn't my first language, so that's my excuse.
This is the Socially Unfiltered podcast.
Lord, give me strength. Literally. That's the serenity prayer. Grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot change. I don't know what it is.
Well, I just popped another antibiotic, so she better start kicking in the system soon.
I hope so. Yeah, we are a little low vibration today. We are just taking things slow. Plays into a bunch of things we would do differently if we were to start our business over from day one today. And that's what we're going to tell you about.
Yeah.
So welcome to our trauma dump.
And sorry, I sound like absolute death, but we're going with it.
It's not absolute death. You just sound a little under the weather.
She's giving I smoke a pack of cigs a day. Where's my
You
Marlboro right?
My Newports.
Where they at? What are they selling?
Chocolate. Oh, the tea and everything. You came prepared.
I've got my tea that helps with respiratory health.
Good.
I'll need some of that.
You need everything.
I haven't had coffee in like a week, and I'm so sad. Every day I like look at my espresso machine, and I really want one so bad. I even put the beans in yesterday, but then I was like, no, like,
Yeah.
just I can't. It's
Yeah,
so
when I
sad.
don't feel good, coffee is the first thing to go. Even like after we were sick in Nashville, like I didn't drink coffee until like 2 weeks after I got home.
I
Like it
know.
just felt weird. It like
Yeah,
tasted
it
weird.
doesn't. Nothing tastes right. You're just like, but yeah,
Anyway, we'll feel better one day.
not sure when. I literally felt like a fucking toddler today too, because you know those like, what are they called? They're like the spinach. They're like nuggets, but not really. They're like spinach ones, but they're like shaped like dinosaurs.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just made some of those. It's like the only thing I wanted.
That's so funny.
And
The toasty cheez-its.
they're here. I won't be ASMRing
toasties.
in your ear, but they're
God, I
here.
wish you would. If you have not tried anybody, the toasty, extra toasted. Yes. You hear that crunch? Crunch is a 10 out of 10. Flavor is a 10 out of 10.
No, they're unreal.
They're so good. Have you had the
They're so
white
good.
cheddar ones? I'm assuming yes. I feel like everybody.
Yeah, but I don't like them.
Oh, you don't? I love them.
Not as much. But I do like the white macaroni and cheese, the Annie's or
Yeah.
whatever. That one I like better.
Have you had? It might not be a cheese. No, I think it is Cheez-Its, but it's like the suit. They're like big and flat and have like lines in them. They're called like groovers.
Oh
or
yeah, those are
something.
good. Those are good.
So good.
Those are really good.
I love a Cheez-It snack. I actually have a goldfish in my. Well, they're turtles. They're like some organic.
I like turtles.
Bullshit. Yeah, cheddar turtles. And now, like, we keep like specifically calling them the cheddar turtles. I'm like, will you go get the cheddar turtles?
No, I like those two are the two like top like snacks for
They're
me.
so
Like
good.
goldfish and Cheez-Its just do something.
Cheez-Its are my go-to gas station snack. Like
Yeah.
if I'm having to get gas station or like airport snacks, it's always Cheez-Its.
They're so good. Sorry.
Anyway,
Anyways,
back to business.
what are we saying? Yeah.
So anyway, we'll talk about day one, things we would do differently, what we would spend time on, what we wouldn't spend time on, our mindset, all of the above.
Yeah. I think we can start with like some mindset things like going into it and what we would change from day one. I feel like the biggest one is probably going into it being like, I'm going to be a business owner, but I kind of went into it just being like, all right, well, this is just gonna be my side thing until I can find a full-time job or like I can figure something out. And it's not to say you're like gonna know when you're gonna start a business every single time, but I think like even just the mindset of like, I'm about to be a business owner, regardless if it's like part-time, full-time, whatever. I still think that mindset shift is gonna help you so much because you start to believe it and it's not just like a little side thing, and you start taking it a little bit more seriously when you shift that mindset a little bit. So I wish I did that in the beginning.
For sure. Because I also feel like I went into it with the mindset of like, everything needs to go perfect from day one or this is like a complete failure. Like this is
Yeah.
never going to work. Like I think I was just really scared of like road bumps, and anytime a road bump would happen, I would be like, well, this is never going to work. Like I feel like I feel like I was ready to give up at any like inconvenience, but I was like, I think just such in a mindset of like, this is all going to go so well and like it's all going to work out. And like obviously you want to be optimistic about it, but I think it also was like a little too far
Yeah.
in one direction at some points where I was like ready to just figure it was just a complete failure. And it probably did not need to be because MailChimp wouldn't let me log in that day. Like, it was never that serious.
It was very serious at the time.
It really was though. And like that's the thing
Yeah.
is like obviously you want to take it seriously, but at the same time we've talked about like it's okay if things change. It's okay if your name changes. It's okay if your colors change. It's okay if over time you're figuring stuff out. Like I
Yeah.
think I was just so in a mindset that like everything had to be done and ready and perfect before it could ever go out, and if anything went wrong, it was a sign it wasn't going to work. Just classic me going in worst case scenario
Yeah.
about everything.
Yeah, the overthinking for sure was like a huge part of it because I was so nervous too to like just create content and to post because I was worried about what people were going to say, or like I just cared a lot about what people thought and that they were probably like thinking I'm not going to make it and this is stupid and it's cringy, and like I think everyone has that thought at some point in their journeys of like posting or starting a business or being a content creator, like especially when you're starting young like we did. Like we were so cringy, and we'll have an episode on some of this
Yeah.
stuff as well. But I just was so afraid to like post stuff, and then even like stuff I overthought and I'm like, okay, this isn't cringy, like I can post it. And I go back now and I'm like, it was
Oh
like, it was
God, I'm like,
horrible.
why did I let
I'm
that see
like,
the
this
light
is
of
horrible.
day? I feel
But
like
it's like, it's all, it's all in the process.
it's all a part of it,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I was definitely like, I don't know, not scared of like being. Well, I don't know, because that is still something that today I'm like, I don't want to be perceived. Like, I hate being perceived. I hate thinking of somebody seeing my Instagram story
Yeah.
and being like, what is she up to? Like, I hate that. It gives me such bad anxiety. Not actually that I hate it, but like, it gives me such bad anxiety. But I think in the beginning, too, I was like,
Yeah.
what are people going to think of this? Like, just caring so much about what other people thought. I also feel like in the beginning, I was like adamantly trying to keep up with other people and was like,
Yeah.
well, they're hiring an assistant, so I need to hire an assistant. And then I hired an assistant and I paid her $2,000 and she ghosted me because I didn't know how to correctly go about that. And like, there was no contract. I mean, fuck that girl. I have so
That was
few people in
insane.
this world that I think are like absolute trash, and that girl is one of them. Like, just completely ghosted me after the first payment. But there's so much I would do differently. Like, one, I didn't even need an assistant at that time. Like, could it have helped me like delegate and like take things off my plate? Yes. But like I was just like, well, this person's had their business for a year and a half and I've had it for a year and a half. So I should be in a place that I need an assistant too. And
Yeah.
like I really didn't need to push that. And I also feel like I was doing that with like, I would see people be like, well, on my email list and on this and on that and on TikTok, like, and I'm like trying to
Yeah.
be in so many places. Like, I just wish I took things a little slower and like focused
Yeah.
a little more. But I also feel like I do that. Like, I am like a full jump in the pool and figure it out later. Sometimes, depends. I also really like to plan. But in that situation, I was like, fuck it, I'm going on TikTok, I'm going on YouTube, and like we're just gonna figure this out and see what happens. And I wish that I did follow my normal self a little bit more and like take a little more time to figure out where your energy would go best, where your money goes best, and if you actually need to start hiring people were like huge things that I struggled with.
Yeah. I feel like I also relate to that too, because I would just watch like certain people that were in like a relatively close range to what I was at, and, like the clients that they were getting, and it's all like, again, comparison is the thief of joy, and that's why I like completely had to stop scrolling and like looking at anyone's content, because it really is like such a downer, but you have no idea what like they're dealing with, what they're going through. But that was definitely something I was doing in the beginning, because I was like so new. I didn't really know like a lot about social media. Like I was doing it, but like I don't know, I didn't like get educated on it. It was kind of like self-taught. So at that point, I feel like we were just like looking at other people and like, what are they posting? What are they talking about? Should I be talking about that? And it's just so much comparison, and like I feel like I probably copied people at some point to try to like sound better, or like
For
to,
sure.
and it didn't take me anywhere. It just like felt like I was an imposter the whole time, because I feel like I was for a little bit in the beginning. And that's just reality. But if I were to start again, I would just say like stay in your own lane with like your blinders on and do your own thing, because that's why clients are going to work with you, not because you're like somebody else. That goes
Yeah.
for like your day-to-day life too. Like,
Be you, because
yeah.
everyone else is taken.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true too. I mean, I did the same thing, and I think a lot of people don't even realize you're doing it on purpose. But I think for me, what I think happened was I made my social media account, like my social media manager, Instagram, and I was flooded with like content from other social media managers. And then TikTok is really what kind of got me, where I was like, I think that's where I started to really get annoyed with like the $10,000 month thing, and like it was just being screamed at me
Yeah.
like every other video on TikTok. And I've definitely stopped consuming as much other social media manager content like in that way. Like, don't get me wrong, I love seeing our posts like from people that we know are social media managers. It's just you screaming $10,000 months at me is no longer the type of content I want to see. And like that always rubbed me the wrong way, but I do feel like I was just consuming so much more content in the beginning that I was like
Yeah, for sure.
taking like little pieces from this and that, like not intentionally
Mm-hmm.
trying to copy somebody, but like it just happens. Like
Yeah.
you just are consumed in this world. And at least that's what I feel like happened for me or us, is like I wasn't intentionally being like, okay, I'm gonna take the font off of this girl's video, I'm gonna take the
No,
idea from
yeah.
this one, I'm gonna do this like it was just like, oh, I like have heard somebody say that, so like maybe I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
But it was like unintentional. But it is like a mix of like you just do
Yeah.
like what you think you're supposed to be doing, you're being influenced by other people. Like I wish that we just listened to ourselves a little bit more, because I saw more from like clients and like gaining traction when I was not consuming as much content. So
Yeah.
it's always hard when it's like visibly right in front of you. Like, yeah, no, like once you stopped being influenced by other people, like your content became very much your own and started attracting the right people. So highly recommend that. Again, we know consuming is like a form of research in our industry, obviously, but it is easy to end up in that place where you're letting it affect your own content a little too much.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
recommend keeping some feelers out for that. And just if you find yourself scrolling a little more than you're liking and seeing it flow over to your content, take a step back.
Yeah, agree. All right, maybe some business stuff that we would do differently. I'm trying to think. I mean, I had like a basic contract done, but it wasn't like anything. Like it was literally from Canva, I'm pretty sure. Because I didn't really know much on that. I didn't really know like invoicing. I also made something on Canva, which is totally fine. Like you can still do that and it's still good and well, but I think I wish I knew a little bit more of like the back end business things, because you can be good at like doing your job and being a social media manager, but then once it's time to like build a business and like work with clients, I think I struggle with that. Trying to just like figure everything out on your own is hard, and like where to start with that. Like, I don't know who your ideal clients are and like what packages to offer and what
Yeah,
to charge. Like
definitely.
those were all things I didn't really know, and then ended up undercharging and taking on like literally any client that wanted to work with me.
Same. It's like a part of the process, I feel like. But
Yeah.
if I could go back, that is definitely something I would spend a little bit more like time and effort on for sure. I mean, my contract was literally just like a template from Etsy for like a really long time.
Yeah.
Who knew if
That's
that would
okay.
ever cover me in any, like, thank God.
I know.
Like, literally thank God that nothing ever had to be like legally done in my business, because I don't know if for the first 4 years I would have even held up as like a legit like business. Like,
Yeah.
who knows? Probably wouldn't have won a lawsuit if I had to guess, but
Yeah, they were just very simple contracts that were just like, here it is, here's the scope. I don't know. Like, hopefully you pay me at this time and everything is fine. But I mean, yeah, I wish I knew more about that and like protected myself a little bit more, because I had one instance where I had to go to small claims court, and that was like scary because it was only like a year and a half into
I
my
was gonna say, I
business.
feel like it was so soon for you.
It was like 2022. Yeah, she just didn't pay me for like a full month, and I had to take her to small claims court. So that was interesting as like a 23-year-old.
Yeah, and then
I
we
mean,
were
it was,
talking about, you're like, no, small claims court is so easy. Like, you
it
just
is
like
so
call it.
easy.
I'm like,
Literally,
okay, like my
yeah.
little rap sheet
I think
rock
it's under
star.
$5,000. Like small claims is if you owe or if you're, yeah, it's like under 5 grand. So that's like the easy one. You don't have to actually. I thought I was literally like going to court and
Yeah,
like
like I thought you had to
doing.
go through
I
like the
was
whole thing.
sweating. I'm like, oh my god, I
I'm
can't
gonna
do
have
this.
to get a pantsuit,
Not the
a
pantsuit.
blazer.
I'm going in Irina's closet.
Oh my God, live out my
Oh,
Karen Reed dream.
literally.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, don't want to live that
No, God no.
nightmare.
Go Karen though. I saw something yesterday about like the Karen or the Dever girl, Dever.
I fucking can't.
I didn't watch all of it to like fully understand what was happening, but I guess like she just like thought she was gonna like outsmart them and then like looked like an idiot,
Yeah,
like
you just look stupid on the stand when you're just being like so rude and
snotty. Yeah.
yes. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I did not
sorry,
like her.
sidetrack on that.
Anyway, so going back to what you said about like packages and stuff, that is something that I wish I knew. And it's hard because I feel like a lot of this is like if we could go back and do it over, we would do it knowing it now. But like so
Right.
much of this is just stuff that like you don't know until it happens, like until it comes about. Like the first time somebody was like, can I pay via a bank account, not a credit card? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that on my like processing system. So I'm like trying, like, it's like just little things that you don't
Yeah.
think about until they pop up. But with your packages and stuff, like, I feel like in the beginning, I was very much the same thing. Like, oh, I'll help you make your online course. I'll help you do email. I'll do your text. I'll do that. And like, I don't not enjoy doing any of that, but it's like, I didn't need to be doing all of that in the beginning. Like, I would tell myself for sure, but I almost would tell other people too. And I don't know what we've said in the past, but like start with like 2 or 3 core packages that like
Yeah.
this is what you offer. And like I even not recently because I haven't done it in like 6 months, but like the last time I updated my like services, like I added a page on there that's like, here's all of the other things that we can talk about. I just like don't offer them in select packages, so that way I can like talk to the people, figure out what they want, and then price it basing on what I feel like it would make sense as. And then when it comes to your pricing, that's just like a complete shit show to begin with, because you're like, well, how do I know like how long it'll take me to make one post, and like this person's okay paying this much but this person isn't, so I'm going to take some stories away. Like it gets to be a lot, and I think like as time goes on it's easier to kind of like manage all of those moving pieces. But in the beginning, I highly recommend just your core packages, figure out what it is that you like to do. If it's social media, have social media packages. If it's email marketing, have email packages. If it's VA work, have VA packages. there's just so much that you can feel overwhelmed in the beginning thinking that you need to offer, and
Yeah.
you never know why somebody else is offering that. Like maybe they're trained on it, maybe that's what they went to school for. Like you don't have to do it just because they are. And I think I felt that way a lot in the beginning.
Yeah, I think I also thought I would get more clients if they saw that I could do everything, which
Yeah,
like, could I do everything? No, like I could
right.
probably like half-ass do some of those things because I was not a website builder or
Oh
like
God, yeah.
ads manager or any of that shit, but just put it in the packages because I'm like, oh, the client will want to work with me if I just know how to do everything. And there
Yep.
was a point I was doing everything for a client, like running the website and ads and Google, and I can do those things. I just like, if you don't enjoy doing those things, like
Hmm.
they can outsource to somebody else. But I think I was just in like a scarcity mindset of like,
Same for
this
sure.
client like will only hire me if I do all these things, or like you look more attractive if you
Hmm.
are able to do all these things, and that's not true. I'd rather like be really good at a few services than stretching yourself so thin and then you're like overworked and underpaid probably because you're undercharging because you wanted that client so badly.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I
oh
was definitely overworking on
my god, for
everything,
like 2 years.
literally for way, I mean, until a year ago. Like,
Yeah.
I've always found myself doing more for people than I should.
Mm-hmm.
But hustle culture, like, literally was such a thing. Like, I feel like it was drilled into me, like, not necessarily from the social media manager world, but like, I just feel like in general, like, being a business owner going into it, it was like, you have to wake up every single day and, like, this is all you think about and this is all you do. And, like, I just feel like hustle culture was, like, wringing my neck at this time. And, like, not that I'm very thankful for all the time. And, like, obviously it took all of that time to, like, get everything where it is now, but like if I could go back, I would probably get a little more sleep. I would probably prioritize a little more self-care than like I did on my business in the beginning. And we've talked about this, like just how we've gotten to such a better place like now with all of that. But like in the beginning, like I literally only cared about like getting shit done, and I just constantly felt behind, and like I just needed to like take a step back and be like, no, like you are making progress. Like one thing checked off of your to-do list is progress. If your
Yeah.
business isn't fully together by Friday and it's Tuesday, like it's not going to be the end of the world. So I wish I
Mm-hmm.
just like took a little step back and like, I don't know, I feel like I maybe would have like fixed a lot of problems earlier on if I had just like not felt like I needed to do as much. Like I felt like I was piling more on that like later I had to sort out and fix. And if I had just like slowed down a little in the beginning,
Yeah.
I think I would have been able to like fix stuff as I went. Like I found myself with a client like setting up a workflow like as I was going with them, and I was like, this is something that like should all be done in the beginning, but it was a new package and like I didn't set everything up. Oh my god, my hair is stressing me out. It's like so dry and crusty and just like staticky and sticking to everything. But yeah, I wish I just took a little more time to like not rush through everything the way that I did, or to feel like I needed to like constantly be on, constantly be working. Like
Yeah.
again, I get these things need to like take priority, and I know I've shit talked people who let like not important things take priority, but there was definitely a time where I think I was like too sucked into it and could have benefited from a step back.
Yeah, for sure. But I think in the moment you're just thinking like, all right, I gotta hustle it out and like grind it out for a couple like years, and then that's when I can relax. But I feel like once you like get deeper and deeper into that, you don't know any different, and it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to retract from that unless you're like actually forced to, which I feel like we were both forced to by losing
Yeah,
clients. Like at that point
literally.
you do really have to slow down and not have like six clients at a time. But yeah, it's like also undercharging, so then
Oh God.
you need more clients, but then
Mm-hmm.
the more people you work with, like the more overwhelming it gets because you're just like all over the place with all these brands and all these different voices, and like it is very very difficult to figure it out in the beginning because like you're new and so you can't charge so much in the beginning, so then you're needing like more clients to fill the income that you're looking for. Like instead of only having five clients you need like 10 because you're not like that experienced yet and can't charge as much. So that was definitely hard in the beginning. And then that's when you think you have to hire somebody because you're like, I can't do this all on my own. Like, it's a lot of work. But then you try to hire someone, and I don't know, you could lose all 5 clients in that month. And then
Yeah.
it's just a lot to think about. So it's definitely good to just slow down and figure out, like, who do you actually want to work with? How many clients can you realistically, like, take on without burnout? Because we've been there and it sucks. And it just doesn't make you even want to, like, continue anymore just because you're so overworked and underpaid, and who would want to stay in that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pricing was like, I mean, I could go on for literally ever.
I know.
We've talked about it a million times, but like that really did like change. Like I remember working with like 13 people at a time and making half of what I should have been making if I was only working with like 6 people.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like this is always hard too, because it's not like we're out here being like charge your worth, like charge them an extra $1,000 just because you can. But like some of the packages I was doing for $500 like should have been like,
Oh my God.
like illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. My first
like-
job was for $400 a month.
Yeah, mine was literally for $250. Like the first, I used to like go
Yeah,
back
there was
and
like 3
put-
packages, I remember. It was like 280 or something, 3 something, and 400, I think. And I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I remember when I raised my pricing, and like the highest one was like 750.
and you're like,
This is
whoa,
crazy. Yeah, I'm like, wow, I
I-
can't. They're never gonna say yes.
right? Hitting the 4-digit number, I was like, oh my God, I'm really balling out now.
Yeah, not knowing that literally half of that you don't even see.
Yeah, literally, you don't even see. Oh my God, the first year of doing tax was like a gut punch. Like I
Yep.
can't express. Please do what you need to do in the beginning to not have to make up for it later, because it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like
It
a
sucks.
literal nightmare. I do think there are some things that I'm glad I did the way that I did, and I don't think I would do them differently. Like one of them is that I feel like in the beginning, I very much focused a lot of my time and effort on meeting other social media managers. Like I spent a lot of time, I hate saying it as corny as like building a community, but like I was almost more worried about like finding a support system with this Instagram than I was about finding new clients, because I was still very much in the mindset of like, this is just like a side thing. Like I don't need to like take this seriously. So I really was like mostly looking for people who did what I did. But then I realized, and we've talked about this, like I didn't realize what I was doing in the beginning was a business. Like I literally thought there's no way that somebody does this for a job. They would have to be like the full-time marketing person for somebody. So in my head, I was like paving this brand new like way. I was like, I'm gonna like do this for people on the side of my full-time job. And then I started to find the community of it. And I think I just spent a lot of time like in the beginning focusing on that. Like I would do a lot of like free workshops and stuff, because it always felt weird, because I was like, I've been doing this for so long, but I'm so new on Instagram that I didn't ever want to come across as those people who are like, well, I've been doing this for so long, so you need to listen to me. But I was coming across people who like didn't have a workflow, like were asking me these questions that I'm like, well, I've been through the fucking trenches with this shit for the last 2 years. Like I might as well share what I know. And then that kind of like clients came from that. But like my priority in the beginning was finding other people who did what we did. And I am so glad for that. I mean, you came out of that. Like so many people came out of like that I still literally talk to today. And when I think back to the fact that that was 5 years ago, I'm like, that is insane. Like that is crazy that
I know.
it has stuck around that long. And like there's certain, like I've bought people's babies present. Like it's so weird to me like how it like worked out the way that it did. But that is something that I'm glad I did in the beginning. Like I didn't go into my Instagram being like, this is a business and this needs to bring me clients. Like I very much went into it being like, again, not with the intention of like building my own like huge community or anything, but I just was like, I'm alone. I talk to nobody about what I do. Literally, none of my friends even knew what I was doing because I was like, they're going to make fun of me for posting on Instagram, like thinking I'm an influencer. Like, it was really about finding people that did what we did. And I'm glad that I prioritized that because it made it feel a little less like everything I needed to post needed to be to attract a client.
Yeah. Same.
Obviously, that all came in time. I know that was something that obviously like drew me to you too. And like we've talked about that a million times. Like you were not posting the stuff that immediately turned me off. So then I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder what her brain is like.
Yeah. And then went on your podcast. I remember that. That was like 2 years into my business, I think. We
Yeah,
have to
because
sit
I
down
would.
and listen to that.
Oh God, I don't even
some
know if
point.
I want to. I'm scared. We probably sound
We
like
just
such
be,
babies, and we're probably
I
like,
know.
"Hi, how are you today?"
I know.
Like it's probably
Because we didn't
so.
really like know each other.
No, we knew each other from like minimal DMs, and
Uh,
then
I know.
because I remember being like shocked that you worked with so many local people because that's
Oh
also
yeah.
what I did. And I felt like everybody I was finding was like, this is a fully
Mhm.
remote job and this is fully online and blah. And like it can be for sure. I just happened to only be working with people in person. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you only were with people in person,
Yeah,
but you
I
were with a
was.
lot of, yeah. And I was like, I love that. Like you I felt like understood like a different like you were doing the in-person shoots, you were
Yeah.
doing like the full management of stuff and like seeing them in person. And again, I don't say that in a way where like if you only do it online, there's anything wrong with that. It was just so new to me to like find somebody that did that that I was like,
Yeah.
I want that one. It's like I want her.
She's doing her spells.
Yeah, literally. I know. I'm like in the back, like Veronica, love me.
It works.
No, I didn't know how to do spells. I still don't know how to do spells now. I get so scared.
Yet.
I know, yeah, I got my candles. If anybody's ever burned a 7-day spiritual candle, can you please let me know how you went about that? Because I'm horrified that I'm going to burn my house down leaving a candle lit for that long.
It'll be fine.
Everything will be fine. I saw somebody on TikTok, they took like a pan, like a deep baking pan and filled it with water and then put the candle in it. So like if it were to tip over, like it only lands in a pan of water. I still am way too scared to do that, I think.
That's smart though. Or
It
like
is.
making it like a hurricane. Like what if you could get a tall
Oh.
and put water in there? Oh, I don't know. I
Like
guess
that's a good idea.
that
Well,
couldn't
a
tip
lot
over.
people are doing their bathtub too, but I get scared of the I can't do it in our bathroom because we obviously use our shower. And if I
Right.
put it in the guest bath, it makes me nervous because sometimes Obs likes to get in the tub and lay in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
And I
can't do
can't
that.
take that from him. And he only does it.
I
He
can't
just
take
did
that
it.
away from him.
No, he does it. I don't know if anybody else's dog is like this, but like we have a Newfoundland mix and he's huge and super furry and he gets like really hot and we don't have a lot of like cold floor. Like our house is all like hardwood and like yeah, it gets cold, but not like tile cold. So he'll get in our bathtub and lay in the bathtub because it's like cooling for him. And the
Found him
first
in there when I was visiting.
yeah, I'm like, I have to like warn people, like, just so you know, the dog might be in the tub. But he only does it like during, like, he just did it for the first time the other day because it's starting to get like extra hot. Like, he really only does it during the summer. But yeah, if anybody else's dog cozies up in the bathtub, let me know because the first time he did it, I remember being like, because he asked me for a bath. Like, what does he want? And Ethan's like, no, he just likes to get, yeah, give me a bath, mom.
Done your shower.
Yeah, so I don't remember how. Oh, the candle. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
can't. Both of our bathtubs are reserved for. Well, actually, I guess our bathtub isn't because we use our shower, but I don't know. I still get nervous. So anyway, if anybody's ever lit a 7-day candle, let me know how you do it because I'm scared.
Just stare at it all day long and don't leave your house.
I'll start there and
Start
then
her up.
yeah, who knows?
Perfect.
Highly recommend though.
I don't even know what we were saying before that.
I don't either. I'm sorry. I got.
Oh, we were talking
sidetracked
about the
on candles.
podcast and how we were. But yeah, the community. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was also doing that in the beginning, like just like
Mhm.
interacting and like building a community, which helps so much because it just like validates and just helps you stay motivated. I feel like when you have like people that are in the same or similar like
Realm.
yeah, because no one in real life was doing what I was doing
Right.
or
No, I
like
knew one
understood.
person. Right. I knew one person and we weren't even
Yeah.
like we just knew of each other. And then other than that, like I've met people who now, like I've
Hmm.
met like Molly and Jules and everybody, like, but that came from Instagram. Like that
Yeah.
didn't come from me like
Right.
knowing somebody in real life. So I literally wasn't even like telling my friends what I was doing because I was like, they're gonna be like, why does she think she needs to get paid to like post on people's Instagrams? Like I was nervous
Mhm.
about what they would say.
Yeah.
So I just like didn't say anything.
Yeah, there was literally nobody around me that even locally, like there's only one girl I know that we've like chatted and got together, but there's like not really a lot on the Cape for some reason, or like in my area at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I could never find anyone, and that was like really hard. So that's why all my best friends have come from social media. Like
Literally same.
you and Gabby
I know.
are,
I love when people
um,
ask, I'm like, oh, I met them on Instagram. And I'm like,
yeah,
there was a time in my life where I would be like, oh, like, I don't know if I want to
yeah,
tell people I met them on the internet. But at the end of the day, like, it's no different than like a networking event or like if we were coworkers for a remote company. Like,
yeah,
it's literally, I look at Instagram as such like a networking
yeah,
thing, not
100%.
like, oh, like, because I feel like, especially for us, like when I hear somebody say they met somebody online, I immediately go to like sketchy AOL chat rooms where
Yeah,
you're like ASL, like, and like making stuff up. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to catfish you. But like, there's obviously, it's like very ignorant of me to say it's hard to fake being somebody on Instagram, but like
I
you
mean, it's
specifically were
yeah,
posting like your dog and your feet, like your boyfriend, like your life. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
clearly you're like a person, like you're not
yes,
some sketch ball. But like it is
right,
really funny sometimes when I'm like Mariah at Mariah's last week, Whitney literally asked, where did you meet? Like asking about you. And I was like, oh, Instagram. And she was like, oh, I love that. And I was like, it's so funny because I'm like, are you like secretly
uh,
judging though? But like
it's like less weird now. I
it's
think back
way
then
less
it's
weird
like it
now.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was different, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was this job, this field was very like
Fresh.
rare, I want to say. It was very fresh. It was very much not like this could be a full-time thing. Now I think it is obviously this could be a full-time thing. Like
Yeah.
we started during like well, I started during COVID. You started
Mm-hmm.
before that.
But
And that's
COVID was
when
what I always feel bad like talking about COVID because COVID is what brought my business full time because so many
yeah.
people were shutting down their like brick and mortar that it took me knowing one person for them to be like, oh, I know a girl that can help you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this girl helped me. And then again, I like hate saying because I know so many people like lost everything and like lives were lost and it was a sickness and the world was like in a pandemic. Like it was a horrible time, but COVID really is what like kickstarted my business to go full time because so many people were like trying to get online that had never been there before.
Yeah.
So it was like brand new for me too.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, cuz everyone was cooped up inside, so all they could do was
Hmm.
be online and
Hmm.
it just started blowing up. Even content creators like
Oh yeah,
TikTok, well, it was what Bitly back then or whatever, or like Musically, yeah,
Musically.
Music Bitly,
That
Musically.
was before. I think it was that before though, wasn't it? Or is that something else?
I think Bitly's like a link thing.
Oh,
What a- Yeah, but my brain is not braining.
we're still
Um,
learning our terms today.
yeah, like everyone was on TikTok and content creators started emerging, and it just became so much bigger than I feel like we're old. Or like
Anybody could
back
have
in
thought.
our day, like
I know.
this wasn't a full time job. It wasn't. But I remember like year two is also when I started like teaching other people as well
Hmm.
because I finally figured my shit out and like
Hmm.
what to do, how to do things. And I started like, well, I took a course that actually helped me so much. Like, I know there's like so many courses out there, but this was somebody that I knew from my hometown that was doing this course. And he was like living out in LA at this point, and he like built his own like e-commerce business, and he was teaching a lot of people like sales, and that's one thing I didn't feel confident in is like
Hmm.
sales, selling myself, like my pricing, how to handle like rejections, like things like that. Like I knew how to run my
Hmm.
business and like if I landed a client, great, but I just did not know like the sales aspect of it and like how to sell my services, how to land clients, like how do I create something that will help people. So I took this course and I invested like $9,000 in it, and I literally took out like a like not I wasn't a loan, it was like a payment thing.
Yeah.
So I did
Not
that
very
for
nice.
it, and I was like, this better
Fix my whole
This
life.
better fix my whole life. But it was a huge investment that I was
Yeah,
like
that's crazy.
so scared, but I saved up so much money from like waitressing and stuff.
Hmm.
But I made the investment, I did it, and it was like one of the best courses I have taken.
Hmm.
I mean, like ever actually. It taught
Hmm.
me so much about like sales, psychology, like
Hmm.
just all the things that I feel like I didn't have or
Hmm.
could teach myself, I guess. And after that is when I started my own course, which was called Agency Builder, which is hilarious because I wasn't an agency, but I
And
didn't
you
know what to
certainly
call
weren't
it.
helping people build
And
an
at that point,
agency.
yeah, I just didn't really like know the
It
word
was such a
agency.
cool name though. Like
It
I loved the name of
yeah,
it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
liked the name of it
Yeah.
too. But the course I took was Course Builder, and they were like, "You could just
Mm,
play off of ours, just do it like do Agency
gotcha.
Builder." I was like,
You're like,
"Okay."
okay, that sounds great.
So I did
That was
Agency Builder.
I forgot about that one though. I thought you were talking the other one that you did with the girl
Oh,
that
yeah,
was a
yeah.
little less like
Yeah, it was
worth
like
it, but
mhm.
I didn't realize that you did that one like specifically for like the sales and stuff because that
Yeah.
is a huge part of it. And
Yeah.
if I like I feel like I sound like a douchebag, but like I got so lucky with my corporate job with Orange Theory because they made us do all of that. So like
Mhm.
we had to take like courses of like and like obviously it was very different. Like it was all structured to the fitness industry, but like rejections about things like
Yeah.
come in like it's so easy to like transfer that skill like to something else. So like we literally I felt like I was not trained. Had no idea what I was going to do, but like while I was doing all of these trainings about like sales psychology and like the way that people make decisions like with Orange Theory, like I remember at the time being like, this is so dumb. Like, I'm here to coach a class. Like, let me in there. Let me coach my class. Like, it's up to the front desk people to sell
Mhm.
them their membership. Like, I don't need to be doing all of this. And obviously, afterwards, I was like, oh, like, I am so glad that I did all of that. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that that was mandatory of us to do. And like, it did help a lot, obviously, in the Orange Theory job, but it's very much something that carried over into this. Cause I mean, food and bev, like, kind of is sales, but like, if I'm like, oh, do you want to upcharge your tequila $2? And they're like,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not sitting
right.
there convincing you that you need to.
No.
So it was a weird, like, time that I'm very thankful for. But at the time, I didn't realize how helpful that was going to be. And I don't know
Mhm.
I don't know how things would have been different. Like, I probably would have needed to take that same thing that you did because
Yeah.
that is such a huge part of it. And I feel like we say this all the time, like as a business owner, you're not expected to be everything. Like some people like making the content but suck at the back end. Some people are really good at the back end and keeping
Mhm.
their business running but never get in front of the camera. Like there are some people that have these ideas and like know what they want to do but actually executing it in a way that like makes sense to how people react to things is like a skill that you have to be
Yeah.
put through. Like not a lot of people have that naturally, I don't
No.
think.
No, it was so helpful to do to just know what to say when people
Yeah.
say no, and like the amount of clients I landed because I knew how to handle those situations after that was
Hmm.
like insane. I'm like, oh, I'll think about it. Like even for example, when someone's like, oh, I'll think about it, it's like,
What do you
okay,
need to
can I
think about?
ask like what, yeah, what do you have to think about? Is there anything I didn't answer for you? Like before I would just be
Hmm.
like, okay, let me know, like bye,
Exactly.
because I was too nervous. And there
Hmm.
was a lot of practicing of like a role play and like
Yes.
the face to face, because it's so nerve-wracking to get on a call with somebody, like especially face to face, because most of the calls I was taking with clients was like a Zoom call.
Hmm.
It is so nerve-wracking because you have to think in the moment, you have to like
It's
ask
yeah.
questions, and most of the time the conversation did flow naturally, but sometimes it didn't, and like it's
Hmm.
very difficult to like keep control of the conversation. So that's also what I was learning about. And then
Hmm.
like just creating content around clients' problems, like just
Hmm.
there was so much that I feel like I learned. Then that course isn't even available anymore, but because it was literally 5 years ago, it was so long, and they
He's
parted
probably
ways with
moved
the two
on to
guys.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, he has something new now, but it's like more directed towards like younger guys and building like a networking and stuff like that. I don't know. It's like different
Mm,
now.
love that for him.
Love that for him and love that
But
for all the guys. But
yeah. I
what
mean,
I
listen, guys need love too. Okay.
yeah. But I started, yeah, Agency Builder, and then I like filmed a bunch of videos, and I had like templates and worksheets and a bunch of stuff, and I was doing all these like one-on-one calls to get people into Agency Builder, and that was like my first high ticket course that I did, and I was like a little bit nervous, but I was like so confident with what I learned and like what I was going to be teaching at that point. Um, and that was the only course that I did. Like I had a few little templates here and there, and then I did it 2 rounds. So I think I was doing it for like a year and a half. So the first one was like, and it was like one-on-one calls with me every single week, like just a bunch of different things to get people started in this biz because literally nobody knew what they were doing back then, I
Well,
feel
and
like.
that's even like me saying like, oh, I did a lot of that stuff like with my corporate job right before. Like, I still think even like I or anybody would benefit from anything like that because there's so much with like not I don't even want to say the psychology of it like you're trying to like manipulate somebody into something, but like the way somebody responds like says so much about them. And I actually just went through this like so with my full-time job, I had to do my first call with a new client. So like the way that it's been going is like they have just been transferring me like existing clients and then I just like continue whatever they've been doing. But
Yep.
I recently got my first new client. So like I'm
Mm.
with them from the beginning. I'm their only point of contact that they've had with this company. Like I got on so like they have us record all of our calls like for ourselves because we like go back and take like the transcript of it. And they like so my manager will like pick random calls throughout the month to like just go back and watch and just like give us feedback and
Oh,
he was
God.
like yeah he was like so I'm gonna do yours with them next month and I was like oh my god and like I'm not like I don't think I did anything wrong but it was like the first one and I'm like I know he's gonna come back to me and be like well why didn't you ask them this and like did you figure this out I'm like no I actually followed up via email because I forgot to ask all of those questions but then I got on my second call with them and I fucking crushed it. And I like messaged my manager and was like, please like go watch my second call with them because I've never felt more confident in my life because
Aw,
like
I
it
love
was
that.
just like nerve wracking and like the amount of discuss and it wasn't even so this is what I love about them. It wasn't a discovery call, it was a kickoff call. So like they have a whole separate team that does like all of the back end stuff and then they come to us like literally ready to do their kickoff call. So like it was just like by the time I got on the second call to go over everything with them, I was like, oh, I know your business inside and out. But like talking to them for the first time, I was like,
Yeah.
so I don't even really understand like what your business does at this point. Like I just needed more time to like figure them
Yeah.
out. So like it really was like it was humbling, like the amount of discovery calls I've done, the amount of clients I've talked to, and I still was like shaking in my boots
Yeah.
to have this call. And afterwards was like, I could have done so much fucking better. Like,
Yeah. And that's
thank
why it's
God.
good though to record and like to look
Yes.
back. Like that is a huge thing that I did and I think you
Hmm.
probably did in the
Oh
beginning
yeah.
is like recording all your calls
Hmm.
and go through them and like see what you would have done differently
Yes.
because that is one thing I love that we did
Hmm.
because it's true like in the moment you're not really like thinking and then you look back and you're like why did I say that or like I wish I
Hmm.
said this differently and at this course that I did and then even in the second one that I took they did do that same thing they would look
Hmm.
over like certain parts of the calls and they would like be like well this is when I would have stopped her and I would have said blah 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 and I'm
Hmm.
like fuck that's so good
Hmm.
I'm like
I
yeah
know, I know. And then like he'll give me this feedback and I'm like, oh, I wish I had you like on a little
I
earpiece.
know
And like so
salespeople are wild like some of the
they're
like
insane.
like in the second course I mostly feel like I loved the sales aspect of it again because I
Hmm.
just think it's so cool like how somebody can just really think in the moment and just be so persuasive and good at like just like talking and figuring out what your problem
Hmm.
actually is or like why you're not 100% in something. I'm like it's so crazy that you can just figure that out by just like continuously asking me certain things that like
Right.
psychologically get me to answer like
How you know I
honestly.
need to answer. Yeah. Wait,
Yes,
have you
it's so
seen that
crazy.
girl on TikTok? She's a little obnoxious, but she's usually in a really nice car filming these videos and it's her being like she'll take people's comments and she'll respond to them and be like this is how I would go about this objection. Like
Oh,
she
no.
God, I can't remember what her name is. It's gonna pop up as the first TikTok. I haven't seen it in forever. Like I don't know if she still does it, but she was somebody that like
I
it
love
was
that.
always so entertaining to
Mhm.
watch because like it's so like when people are like okay sell me this pen my brain is like like I don't know. Like, it's a nice pen. And then there are people that are like, okay, I'll sell this to you. Can you write me your name right now? And they're like, no, I don't have a pen. And they're like, okay, you can use mine for $1. And I'm like, how do you think like that? Like,
Yeah,
how
it's
do
wild.
you, like, I wish my brain did it a little bit more, but it's also like,
Yeah.
I just think I meant more to be like, let's chat through the problem, not like,
Mm-hmm.
let me figure out every objection. But I think it's
Yeah.
crazy. You know who can do that really well is my friend Lauren. She's insane. Like, talking to her is like the way I hope she listens to this. Her brain computes things so quickly, and she has a response no matter. It's wild sometimes to listen
No,
to her
I don't
talk.
understand people that can.
She
I
was
mean,
our
it's just a lot of
kick-ass
practice.
Orange
Like
Theory. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of like repetition and doing so many calls and like
Hmm.
hearing these objectives all the time, and yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Um,
definitely a skill that you can strengthen and
yeah,
learn. But I think when people are like naturally so good at it, I'm like, you scare me a little bit. Like, you could
yeah.
probably like build a cult, I think.
That's why I'm just glad that the one thing I never did is say like after my course or like after taking this program you're gonna be making XYZ amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was honest about what I was making with my clients at that point with like the people in my course because I wanted them to see that like yeah, it is possible, but it took all of this shit and like figuring out how to
Mm-hmm.
do any of this stuff. And then that's also a reason why we started our business blueprint and then the content generator now because
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much fluff since then. Like there wasn't as much out there when I was doing it, I remember, but like
It's
I
gotten
mean, over the
insane.
years it's gotten insane and there's so many like scam marketers and it's just sad to see that so many people get scammed out of like thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we created the business blueprint. Like literally all of these things that we're talking
I know,
about
literally.
I just keep thinking about I'm like, "Oh, we talked about that in the blueprint.
I
Oh,
know. Well, and
we
I
put that in the
just,
blueprint." But I
I
don't
just
wanna,
love
like, be over here
push it. I
selling
know.
yeah, pushing our
I'm like, I
blueprint.
don't want to sound like what we just talked shit about, but like it is, I hope that this shows everybody, not that I think anybody was questioning it before, but like we did not make and we never make anything that we make with the intention of just like selling it to as many people as possible. Like I don't care if 10 people are in the blueprint, if 100 people, if 1,000, like whoever is trusting us to help them, like just we are never going to just try to sell you to be in there to make money. Like that is not what's important to us.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about like a bunch of times like at some point I would love for us to do something like agency builder. Obviously not agency builder, but like I would love for us to do something a little more like involved, like
Yeah.
group with people, like anybody who needs a little extra help. I mean, you obviously know how much goes into that. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of work. So it's been
Yeah.
easier for us to put things together that you can go through on your own time. But like just know in a perfect world, we would literally spend all day helping you guys with this, like
Oh my
just
god, yeah.
helping you because we have been there and like that's where this comes from. This doesn't come from, oh, I wanted a remote job, so I was gonna start this, and now I want to work 10 hours a week and blah, blah. Like, I don't give a fuck if I'm working 100 hours a week for the rest of my life. If I can die saying that I helped more people than I
Yeah.
didn't, like, that's
Oh my god, it's like
literally
the
all
best
that
feeling.
matters to me. Yeah.
Like ooh, when I didn't do it for like the third time, I like missed it because it was just so cool having like a community of girlies get together and like every week we were on a call and like going over like questions and like just different scenarios and like it was cool to be in like a teacher role. Um, but yeah, one day we
One
will
day.
we will do something like that. But yeah, our podcast is always like
We're trying to hit the
open
topic.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's about the podcast, less about us being like I don't know, like like what am I trying to say? Not like we are
Like,
mentors, but like
yeah.
gurus, like these like course gurus that are only trying to sell courses and like that's never been our thing. We're not trying
No,
to like
like it
scale
even
and
feels weird when we even like talk about them. And we're like, but we have to talk about them. Like
yeah.
we literally have to. But it's yeah, I've never even like called myself an expert or like I try not to
Yeah.
because I just think like
No. No
I
one's an
think like
expert.
yes, we have a lot of experience, but like I would not call myself like an expert at every single thing that
Yeah.
we
What
do.
does that
But
even mean?
yeah, literally, what does that even mean? Like, why are we ranking out? Is there a highest level here? I don't think so, because I think there's always something to learn. And yeah, I've always been worried, not for just us, but like even myself. This is something I wish I could go back and like, you aren't just going to come off as salesy because you're talking about things that you have. Like, it really is that sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th time that you're mentioning something that somebody is like, oh, wait, that might be for me. Like,
Yeah.
that might be what I need. And it might just be us explaining it a different way, talking about it a different way. But if anybody has ever had a concern that we do not do this because we love to and that it is not about money for us, I
Yeah.
hope this helps, because we literally just want to help people not have to be in the fucking trenches like we were for years.
Literally.
And if anyone has a guide to get me out of the trenches now, let me know. Listen, I'm always open to learning. I'm just kidding. I'm not in the trenches. It's just life is curveball after curveball, and I'm ready to not have to hit any balls.
She's ready for some swing and misses.
I'm ready to hit the bench. Coach,
Yeah, yeah.
take me out. I need a week to relax.
I think that was most of the things that we wanted to chat about, right?
I think so. I mean, I am sure there's a million
There's
more
probably
things
more
that,
like
yeah, we would love to
red
tell
flag
ourselves about.
clients and whatnot. I mean, I wish there were some clients that I didn't take on, but that's how
Same.
you learn. That's how you learn what you don't want in your business or even in your life. Like we learn from bad experiences of
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, that I don't want that anymore for myself. I don't want this
Right.
client anymore for myself. So there's some red flags that maybe are ignored in the beginning as well. So make sure you pay attention to those and like treat others how you want to be treated. And I hope your
Mm-hmm.
client treats you how you would like to be, you would treat them, So
Mm-hmm.
that respect has to be there.
Yep.
But there's definitely a lot of,
Under promise, over deliver. Some of my favorite advice I've ever
yeah,
been given. Do not over
yes.
promise and do not under deliver, but you tell
Ugh,
people exactly what you can give them, and then you blow them away when you give a teeny bit extra.
mm-hmm.
Again, not that you have to give extra, but we've talked about this a million times. If somebody isn't expecting an extra reel and you have it and you're like, oh, I'll edit this for you if you pay me
Yeah,
$30, like just fucking edit the extra reel and they'll be like fucking pumped and then they'll come to you again.
yeah,
But again, that's obviously very situational advice because I don't want to just tell people to do stuff for free. But
yeah.
under
It just, yeah,
promise,
read the
over
room.
deliver. Read the
Depends on
room.
who, because yeah, there was a time that I did that and then the client just kept expecting things or like last
Mm-hmm.
minute things. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I wish I had boundaries more of in the beginning is like
Oh, I
saying
had
no.
zero.
But I was too afraid because I'm like, I don't want to lose the
Right.
client if I say no. So I just did it. But then it was like
Mm-hmm.
9 p.m. they're texting for stuff. The day
Yep.
of, they're texting for stuff and needing like updates and posts and printed
Mm-hmm.
things and whatever. It's like,
The printed material.
dude, the day of, like, it was nuts.
Oh, story of my life. I was making
Huh?
fucking flags for events that were happening the next day. And when
Relax.
I had been asking for 2 months, hey, do we need anything for this event in 2 months? No, no, we're all good. Hey, 24 hours
I
before,
can't.
could you make a flag? Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yep.
I already had it ready. I knew this was gonna happen. Like that's when I
Right
started
here.
prepping for my red flags. I was like, well, I know this is gonna happen, so I might as well do it now. Like
Oh my
that should
god.
have been. Maybe you don't need to
Yeah,
work
that's
with
when you
this
know.
person.
Oh my god, dude.
I don't know. I had no boundaries in the beginning, so I had
No.
vibes. I had straight vibes. I was like, this girl doesn't seem like she'll be a bitch if I say no. Like, I'll just say no. But then there was somebody else I'd be like, I know they're going to fire me if I don't say yes, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. But
Which is so bad.
oh
Like,
God, it's so bad. But you have no, and like, honestly, I just feel like that's a part of growing up too. Like, we've taught, like, in who I was when this business started and who I am now are like unreally different people.
oh my
And
god.
yeah, now I'm not as afraid to say what I do and do not want.
No. Like, I was literally freshly 21, basically,
Right.
starting this shit.
Like you had just
Crazy.
ordered your first legal drink and now you're running a whole business.
Yeah. Insane.
Love that for you.
Insane. But yeah, let us know if any of these helped you. If you're
Let us know what
struggling
you
with
think
anything
about
in your
that.
business, let us
Mm-hmm.
know. We've got you. We're here to support and help in any way we can.
We
And
love you so much.
apologize that this episode was not about the Justin
Oh,
Haley Bieber breakdown, but I need to be in
100%.
rare form
Yes.
for this, okay?
Yeah.
And right now I'm not well, so
It's going to be detailed. It's going to be good. I knew nothing about any of this before you, so I'm learning along with everybody else in this. So anyway, we'll get back to that, or we'll get that episode next week. Bear with us through this one. We're getting everybody back to 100%, and we will be back next week to officially talk the Biebers. We love you so much.
love you. Stay unfiltered.
Stay unfiltered.
Bye.
In case you haven't heard from us enough today, come hang on Instagram at sociallyunfilteredpod.
Join our group chat to stay updated in between episodes by texting group to 833-459-3349.
Download the Social Media Manager Business Blueprint to start building your business today.
And last but not least, grab your official Socially Unfiltered merch from our Bonfire store.
You can find everything linked in the episode description below or at sociallyunfilteredpod.com.
We'll meet you back here next week, same day, same time. Bye.
Bye.